Good morning and welcome to Friday, NFP Friday London live stream. Happy Friday everybody. For traders, not so happy Friday. So, of course, today is a UK bank holiday. But yesterday, that did not seem to slow down the London session time period at all. We had a lot of volume yesterday in what would have been London session. Good morning, Scotty T. How's it going? Okay, so let me just remove all of this. I'll redo this for you guys now. Obviously, there's going to be no news for us this morning. Okay, bank holiday. We do have NFP later in the day. That is another concern, of course. With high impact news later in the day, we may see some consolidation, some setting up for that move later. No news, nothing really. So obviously the focus is on NFP and also the fact that we have a bank holiday here today. So that's something we need to be very careful of. But looking at yesterday, you know, these moves here, this was London session. I'm not even sure if you can say it was London session because of the bank holiday, but this was the same time yesterday. Okay, and then gold, we also had a really nice move up yesterday during this time as well. So the volume is here. The volume is here, and I don't see why we should not get some sort of movement today. Okay, so let's have a look at our daily candle here. Daily, we had quite a strong move up yesterday, as you can see. Alright, we broke above resistance. If this bullish momentum continues, we should see a tap into 1883. That is your next daily resistance. And we have now created a support at this level here. Okay, so since we are bullish on the daily, we have created a support. We should begin to move back up to the high here. Very likely we'll, maybe just see price trading within this range until NFP. But what I'm looking at here, what I really like is actually sells. We've got a strong bearish 4-hour candle. Okay, we tapped into a previous level of concern here, the support. We tapped into that level before. Okay, so we've had, like I say, the strong bearish close. Looking at yesterday's 4-hour candle, we did not have a bottom wick. So for sales, a break of the 4-hour low to fill this range here, correct this impulsive move down and create that wick on that 4 hours. So that's a pretty big range over here. Highly unlikely this will happen during London session, but we'll have our eyes on that. Moving down, you obviously do have areas of concern. Got that level over there. I quite like this level here. This is a 4-hour level, and you can see we have quite a few reactions to that level. We've got a support. But either way, the idea is below the support here, we should fill this entire move down. Okay, so that may only happen later in the day, may only happen with NFP volume, but keep that in mind, and that may be quite a nice move down today. The daily candle doesn't really correlate with that story, but I can definitely see that happening. Or what could happen is we come down to create that bottom wick on that 4-hour. We could get a strong move down here. Yeah, get a bottom wick on the daily candle, and we could still drive up. It's a pretty big move, but it's NFP today. You could see something like that happen. So we got sells below support here. Got our first target at 1861. Probably could have further sells below that level, you know, like I say, possibly later in the day. Not too sure if we'll get all this volume right now, but we will just stay tuned and see if things pick up. So he did close bullish on an hourly here. You've got a pretty clean range moving back up to resistance. So a break of the previous hourly high, and you could see price fill this range. Looking at a 15-minute, you got a minor resistance. So maybe we wait for a 15-minute closure, and we can see if price decides to move up here. Okay, GJ, your daily, we closed above this resistance. Okay, there's a lot of wicks to the left here, but since we're closing above resistance, we should see price fill this area to the left. Okay, so we currently have formed a support here. And we've got our resistance up here. Gonna be best to just wait for a break above this range. To take a trade off support here, you got a lot of resistance and miss, not enough range to move up here. So we'll wait for a break above this resistance, and then like I say, our target is to basically fill some of those wicks. So we got this level here, and the next best level is probably going to be here. So above resistance here, you've got about 24 pips. Not that big of a range, but yeah, not a lot of volume today either. So 24 pips is quite a nice target there for this morning. And in terms of sales, we've also had a pretty strong move up here, just like gold. You know, we could anticipate a correction, so we will have sales on the cards here for GJ. Most probably, you know, below the support here. We had a bearish candle closure on a 4 hour, and then your previous 4 hour was a a bullish doji. But as you can see, the previous 4 hour candle is respecting the highs, and it broke the lows. So if you look at this in terms of a trend, we are starting to create lower lows and lower highs. So a break below this 4 hour wick over here would be a confirmation for sales, but really we want to see a closure below this support before that happens either way. So no impulse entries on the break of the 4 hour low. We want to see a closure below support. That break of that 4 hour low will just be an extra confirmation. And then your targets, we've got this clean area here to target 26 pips or so. Got another support down here at about 54 pips. So it buys above 163,460 to push up to 163,700, possibly 164,100, and then below support here, sells below 163,150. Your targets are going to be at 162,870 and 162,600 chips. Here gold is beginning to push down. Got sells below 1867,54 to move down to 1861,17, with a final target at 1855,17 to basically come down and create that bottom wick on the 4 hour. So we've rejected that resistance there. It would be nice to see a 15-minute candle closure below this level. Would be even nicer to see a 30-minute candle closure below there. So just going to be patient. Looking here at a 4 hour, you know, we closed bearish. You could see sells on the break of the low here, or even this low. Should only be a couple pips different. So yeah, we're waiting for a little bit more confirmation today. Here on GJ, you can see we want a closure below this support, but we also want that break below the 4 hour. We've got to have both. Nothing less, nothing more. Here on gold, same story. We could have an impulsive entry on the break of the 4 hour low, but that's not going to happen today. We want to see a closure below support and the break of that 4 hour low. So if we did not get a closure and we just break below, we will not be entering. And if we get a closure and we don't end up breaking the low, we won't enter. ideally I would like to see us close roundabout right here at, let's say, 1867 150, and then your next candle wick up, and then sell stops on the break of some of these previous wicks here. Your hourly, looking here, we had this support level. Okay, we've closed below, we had this bullish doji, and we are now driving back down for the continuation to push. So another setup to support this idea here, that little setup, that weak bullish candle, and then a break of the lows to continue down. But like I say, just waiting for closure. Your 15-minute closed on support, so we're waiting for a 30 now. 8:30, and we may just have a trade here. The one upside is we may also just be setting up for NFP. So like I say, yesterday's candle, just going off price here, yesterday's candle we closed above resistance. In theory we should drive up to the next resistance here. Alright, but you could possibly see this candle either consolidate or drive down early in the day to see a push up later on for NFP. I could be completely wrong, and maybe we just consolidate and then NFP we get this push down. So different things to look for here. But as long as you have, make sure you are aware of all possibilities and are planning for those possibilities, you should be pretty chilled. Just waiting for this 30-minute closure. It's sitting quite nicely right now. Looks like your 15-minute wicked up, and we are pushing down now. Asian session is just so clean. So clean. Would have been tricky depending on how you went about your entry here, because you had quite a steep uh, liquidity wick here on this Asian Open candle. But if you're waiting for Asian Open, you know this was punchy in your face, obvious. That was really nice. No trades yesterday. We can possibly see what we'll be able to do today if we can execute on some of the ideas from yesterday. This was all yesterday morning. GJ is not really a pretty sight at the moment. Like I say, you just want to wait for a break above resistance or support. This whole mess here, this whole range actually, you just want to stay out of. In fact, let's mark that up. No trade range. The typing skills are getting better. Slowly but surely. So if we close above support here, this is just going to be a clear indication to stay away. Looking at your previous hourly, we were bullish, and you know, you can see there is a definite support in this area. Looking here on a 30-minute. So with your hourly closing bullish, and now closing on support, you know, this little range, a breakout either way, you could see pretty nice movement, but closing on the support is not going to work for us today. There's some days where I wouldn't mind if we closed there, and then maybe had a nice wake up and broke the lows with enough volume. You know, you'd be looking at like a 28 pip stop for like a 50 pip target would be a really nice idea, but yeah, not today. 5 minutes here. Let's see if we can get anything. Looking on a 5 minute, you formed a support. So, yep, not looking too good for sells at the moment. Like I say, possible break above this resistance. You could see price move back up to the highs. At the end of the day, we are bullish. The only reason I don't enjoy the idea of trading in this range right now is your 4 hour closed bearish. So we could break above that resistance, just form a slightly longer wick here and then drive back down. The structure has somewhat shifted bearish on a lower time frame. We had this bullish structure, higher highs, higher lows, and then we've broken that structure, we've broken these lows here. We are now struggling to create a higher high. Anyway, just waiting for a 30-minute closure. GJ moving up beautifully. Who said there's no volume on a bank holiday? Yeah, man. To whoever said there's no volume on a bank holiday, I was gonna draw a middle finger, but looks more like something else. There you go. Gold is saying the same thing pretty much. It's not called the head and shoulders anymore, it's called the zap sign. Previously you would have called this head and shoulders to push further down. Now we call it the fuck you. Sorry guys, I'm just bored. Yeah, your 30-minute is not closing how we wanted. We've got a minute left here. We're pushing up off this support area on a lower time frame, so nothing wrong with this. We can wait until 9 o'clock. Looking at yesterday, we had nice volume at 9 o'clock, as well as on gold. So yeah, not your desired closure. Got a bullish candle on 15 minutes. Doesn't mean much, not even really worth trying to make sense of this range here. The point is, we have a support, okay? we closed bullish on the previous hourly. We need a break of this resistance for buys, and we need a break of this support for sells. I'm anticipating a push up off of support now, since we are respecting that area. Like I say, not even really worth trying to make sense of this small range here. Just waiting for a break above or below. If at 9 o'clock we close bullish above the, this minor level, we should see a continuation up here. Possibly 20 pips, 30 pips. Not the best of weeks here. Definitely was bound to be a tricky week. Monday here was our issue. So, in terms of discipline and starting out, you need to really learn to, when to walk away. So, that's why one or two trades a day is really powerful, because if you stick to that, you can't overtrade. And here on the stream from now on, if we end up taking a loss, we'll probably call the stream and not take any more trades for the day, to avoid these 2 losses in a day, because 2 losses can happen. These are 2 pretty small losses, in fact. But it's bringing down the weekly total, since there hasn't been too much opportunity this week. In my personal trading, after a small loss, I would be happy to take another opportunity if it presents itself. But here on the stream for you guys, you know, this is educational, but if you are planning on taking these trades, I don't want to be doing this to you guys, you know. So one loss and we call the stream. It's going to help the record as well. Not that the record even really matters too much. You know, at the end of the day, it really doesn't. It's more about how much money you're making, really. So yeah, it looks like we are in the negatives for the week. Not by a lot, you know. Looking at this, 28. Probably down like 15 pips or so for the week. So even a losing week, if you compare it to previous weeks, it is minor in comparison to even the smallest winning week. And you know that is what consistency is about, keeping your losses smaller than your wins. So sometimes we've had a hard time doing that, but we're getting better at managing risk. You can see here some of our losses. The original stop, 36 pips on this trade. We closed half at 20. Here 22 pips, closed full at 17. This trade, yeah, not so good. 26 pip stop, closed full at 10. Getting better. 30 pip stop, closed half at 12 pips. It's still quite new to me to actually be trading in a proper routine and session. I've been used to basically trading at work, you know, running off to the bathroom for 10 minutes here and there, you know, like a quick scalp or something, maybe at tea time or lunchtime, quick scalp, and calling it a day. So I found a lot of success in that, but there was very little routine. So now that there's a routine and I'm trading a session, I'm still learning a lot of things here. You know, about different sessions and, you know, market cycles. Like now that I've been sitting here for the past couple of months, at the same time every day, I can see the changes over the past couple of months in London session. The past couple of weeks have been a lot more volatile in London. In the beginning of the year, we were having really nice clean moves in London session and pre-London, especially on a Monday, funnily enough. Now all your nice moves seem to be in Asian session. Never mind yesterday, this was ADP, but we had a nice move up yesterday during London and New York. Other than that, you've been finding these clean moves in Asian session, and London and New York seem to be very volatile. We may close below support here on a 15-minute, but I really want to wait for the hourly candle closure. This hourly just basically needs to give us our confirmation for further sales, and we execute on the 9 o'clock candle. Same story on GJ. I'm not too sure if we'll close above resistance here on this hourly, but if we do, that gives us our confirmation for the 9 o'clock candle to drive up. So gold has broken the previous hourly low. You may get some movement here. If you do, we will be staying out and waiting for a closure below support. If you break that 4-hour low, you could drive down. Like I say, just waiting for a decent confirmation, a 30-minute and an hourly candle closure. Cool, so your 15-minute close below support. Like I say, I really want to see a 30-minute candle closure within this range. The probability of closing below support here now on an hourly, increases because we have closed below on a 15-minute. Although we do have this 15-minute support here. So yeah, more reason to rather wait for the hourly candle closure is we are still closing above that 15-minute level there. GJ is pushing up here. Volume has definitely picked up here. Slowly but surely we are starting to move. Should see 9 o'clock move quite nicely. So this level here that we put in was basically just to mark up that wick. We wanted sells below that level. Basically our sell stop would have been below this level, but now we've broken that level. So we'll just be focusing on the low of this 30-minute. And when this candle closes, I'd like to see a wick up and then a break of the low on this candle here. Potential. Thanks to all joining this morning. I hope you're having a wonderful Friday morning. Please give the video a thumbs up. If you'd like the full breakdown and some ideas for later in the day, watch the first 15 minutes or so of the stream and I'll go over everything you need to look out for the day ahead. I've got 10 minutes until this hourly candle closes. If we continue to push down, that's perfectly okay, and we might just not even get an entry here. But as price sits right here, looks pretty good. Like I say, I'd like to see a little bit of a wick formed on your new hourly candle. to then drive down to support here. So if we close like this, something like this, the way price is sitting right now, we wick up nicely and possibly get an entry on the flip of the candle, then we'll be looking to move stops to break even as we tap into this level here at 1865 480, 1865 500. How's it, John? No problem. Currently not in the trade. Waiting for this hourly candle to close. So we've got about 6 minutes here, and we should have a trade. I'll give TP stop loss and all of that good stuff. GJ has retraced quite a lot here, so rejecting this level of resistance here. Your 4 hour did break the high, but we are respecting this area. So if we come back down and close below support, these sells will still be valid. Five minutes, boys and girls. 5 minutes. We could always get a push in the last few minutes of the hourly, but I think we should probably hover around this area, and then, like I say, just waiting for that wick up on your new hourly candle. That will be crucial, that wick up. 36 pips. Looking here on a 5 minute, looks like we will push up, create a resistance, so that will be your wick for the hourly to drive down. Good morning everyone just joining. Thank you for the support. Please give the stream a thumbs up. We are looking at potential entries here on the new hourly candle opening in 3 minutes. So stay tuned. We've already got some nice volume here on this 30 minutes. So we should be set to drive down on the new hourly. Yes, this 30-minute didn't have a bottom wick, and we've just created that bottom wick now on GJ. Could still see a push up here, but of course we're waiting for a break of this resistance here. Looks like we are getting a little bit of a push in the last few minutes of the hourly. Nothing too crazy. We've got 2 minutes left. I would like to see some sort of retracement to leave a bottom wick on this candle. So that idea of going break even at this level here is probably not going to work. Don't have enough range there, so we'll be looking to move stops to break even as we tap into this level here at 1864 500. Looking pretty good. Push straight down. No top wick on this hourly, so you wait for this top wick to form now. And we can get involved as this candle flips. If we just push down here, there's no entry, unfortunately. Like I say, the plan was to wait for this hourly to form a top wick. Right now we've got the closure below support as we wanted, but we need some sort of confirmation for an entry to get involved here. if you want to enter right now, you know, it could drive down. If you're looking at a bigger stop, lower probability, could always see this candle wick up quite heavily and then drive down. John, if you're still on the stream and you don't mind me asking, how did you come across the stream? I'd love to know where you guys are from. Anyone else joining the stream, thank you so much. Hope you're having a great Friday morning. And let me know where you guys are coming from. Also, while you're at it, I'd really appreciate if you gave the video a thumbs up. Okay, here we go, getting this top wick now, so probably want to wait for it to push a little bit further up. Looking at about a 5 pip difference from entering on the low to entering on the flip. So another potential option is to get involved on the low of this current candle. Looks like we do have enough volume to do that. We'll just have to keep our stops above the previous 30-minute then. So gonna have an entry on the break of the low of this current candle. There we go, right there. So your entry is at about 1865 300. Stop loss is above the previous 30-minute wick at 1868 500. For about a 32 pip stop here. We do have this level here to the left. Need to be cautious, so I'm probably not going to move break even at that level. Your final target, so your TP will actually be down at 1855 300. But we'll be taking off some position as we tap into 1861, 200. Yeah, we got a level So looking to possibly move stops to break even at about 14 pips. So moving stops to break even at 1863,95 or 1863,900. Oh, that's great, John. You're in the right place. United Arab Emirates. How is it that side? In terms of managing risk here, if we do break above this current candle high, we could probably close out 50%. Otherwise, we wait for a 15-minute close. If we close bullish, we can close 50% as well. Two options there to manage your risk on this trade. Like I said earlier in the stream, we don't want to be taking full stop losses. Could always see this hourly just creates a steeper top wick as well. So your current candle is pushed up quite a bit here. Going to wait for the 15-minute candle closure before doing anything here. We could just be forming a steeper top wick on the hourly, forming a resistance on the lower time frames here. So gonna give it some chance, but that wick rejection is quite mean. So probably gonna end up closing 50% on this 15-minute candle closure if we don't get some sort of push down in the next 2 minutes. Okay, there's your new 15-minute. We'll close half if it breaks the high here, but that's a pretty strong bullish candle, so you may see some pushback up here. I don't have a bottom wick on this 15-minute. We are tapping into possible area of resistance. There we go. So might pay off here to have waited, for this 15-minute to basically show us when to close half. I'm not sure if I'm wording that correctly, but I was patient here to close half because this current 15-minute didn't have a bottom wick. Although this previous 15-minute is very bullish, looking here at the higher time frames, we had a perfect confirmation on the previous hourly. You've got a lot of clean range moving down. So that should be your top wick for the hourly. At this point, if we break the current candle high, we will be probably looking to close the majority of our position here. Yeah, I think at that point we can move our stops now to above this current candle at 1867.200. So we move stops to 1867.200, leaving us with 18 pip stop loss now, rather than our original 32. So already taking quite a lot of risk off this trade. We are looking pretty good at this point in time. Your hourly is flipping bearish again. We've got a slightly steeper top wick now. Could see us possibly fill this previous candle wick. If we don't, and we do close, below this support there, on this 15 minute. You should see the next 15 minute draft down to fill this wick, and we'll get break even here at 1863,900. Inching into profits here, slowly but surely. The way we are sitting right now, it looks pretty good to drive down. Yeah, we should fill this wick now, and then, like I said, we should fill this area down to the support. So like I say, your 15-minute has basically created a support here at 1866. So we want to see this candle close, basically how it is right now, sitting, below this 15-minute support. Good morning, Shamar. Thank you so much for joining once again. Listen, I would rather wait for this 30-minute candle closure. Wait for your 30 minutes. We've got 2 minutes here. Because if we close above this level, I may just be taking some risk off the table here. For what it's worth, your previous 5-minute had no top wick. So, that could be the reason we're driving up here, back into this area, and then possibly to drive down. Got a minute here. Really like to see this candle close a little bit stronger. Closed ever so slightly below. There you've got a little bit of a top wick on this 30 minute. In terms of entries now, once we break the low of this previous 30-minute candle, you could have a stop below, a stop loss above that previous 30-minute candle for about 25 pips. But then the issue is, we're looking at this level 1863, 900 to go break even. You're not really going to have much range there. So if you get involved there, you're just going to have to be careful and manage your risk on the way down. But you do have clean range to move down here. The other thing is, it is a UK bank holiday. We did have volume yesterday. Looks like volume's picked up today, but you don't want to take advantage of it. There is NFP late in the day, so it would be pretty normal to see some consolidation on gold. But we do have an entry confirmation, we do have a setup here, and we are currently in a trade, making the most of it. Just in terms of getting involved now, I think you may have a hard time. slow down a little bit here, so you may even see price pull up, create a resistance before driving further down. But we saw this volume and we executed. So we just have to make do with what we've got here. So what I did with the stop loss is I put it above this bearish 15-minute candle. Keep in mind you may just tap into this 15-minute level to create that top wick on the new 30-minute to then drive down. Flipping bearish now after tapping into that resistance. Let's see if this candle can break its own low, then we should fill these wicks. Previous 5-minute had no top wick. Like I say, for what it counts, that does count in our favor. So Shamar, if you're still on, the reason I wouldn't enter right now is we had that initial confirmation with the hourly candle. It dropped, it didn't have a top wick, it pulled back up, and then it broke its own low. That's where we got involved. Right now, we've had some pretty strong wicks to the downside, but we did close bearish on the previous 15-minute. So if this 15-minute breaks its own low, you should see price fill these wicks here. Other than that, you probably just want to wait for this 15-minute to close. If we close bearish on this 15-minute, then then you've got another confirmation. Right now, we are just in this range here. And the other thing is, our initial stop loss was above this 30-minute wick. So now we've already reduced our risk on this trade. I would not want to take on any more risk personally. That's just the way I'm seeing it right now. So that initial volume we had seems to have died out in the previous 30 minutes. You can see here the 8:30 candle drove down quite nicely. The 9 o'clock candle, we closed as a doji. But I do believe if volume kicks back in here and we break this current candle low, we should drive down here. We are about to close on a 15-minute, and as of right now we are bullish, so looking to probably close out some of this position. $15-minute candle just closed with no top wick. That's tricky. No top wick, didn't break resistance, so you could still see this candle drive down here. As long as we respect this previous 30-minute candle high. So if we break this previous 30-minute candle, if we break that high, I'll be closing half. So just be aware, if we break that level, we'll manage risk. The current 15-minute also does not have a bottom wick, so we could just be retesting those highs to drive down here. NFP, they are looking at bad numbers, overall bad numbers for the dollar. So, you could get that push down earlier on in the day, correcting some of that impulse move from yesterday to basically grab liquidity for price to move up. I lie. No, I don't. And if numbers do come out good, then you could just see gold continue down. Five-minute close, respecting that resistance there. We are in the last 10 minutes of this hourly candle, so I really want to see a push down here so we can close bearish. Right now things are moving pretty slow. Got about 7 minutes until your hour candle closes. I would like to see a push down here in the last 10 minutes, like I say, for this hourly to close bearish, and then we'll have a bit more confirmation to stay in this trade. Otherwise we need to manage risk at some point here. We are respecting this 30-minute high as of right now, so we could get a push down here in the last 5 minutes. Like I say, if we break that previous 30-minute high, we want to be closing half. Our initial stop was 32 pips. Here we go. So we got some movement now in the last few minutes. Your 30-minute seems to be flipping bearish. There you go. So this is looking a lot better to drive down here. If we do close bearish, when your new 30-minute candle breaks this low, you should see us fill this wick. And then, like I say, you got a lot of clean traffic moving down here. So yeah, that's your 15-minute support. We want to close below there, so that's basically your bearish candle closure on the 30-minute. 2 minutes to go here. Looks good. 1 minute left. Yeah, we're pushing here. Whew. If you haven't gotten involved yet, if we close like that, your entry on the new hourly is going to be around about the same as the entry I have here on screen. Maybe not. But that's looking really nice. So you could still expect to see a wick up on this new hourly. So we're not moving stops to break even just yet. If we can close like that, wick up, move down to 1863.9, we'll have stops at break even. And we'll let it run from there. We also had this, minor level of support here, which we've now closed below. So that's a really strong confirmation we should drive down, at least to basically mirror this candle here, which should get us to our break even point. You've opened up with no bottom wick, so this is really nice here. If you do want to get involved, this is where I would want to get involved at this current point on the break of this low at 1864.450. So just a heads up for anyone joining, we are currently in a trade. There is an opportunity for re-entry here if you haven't already entered. Personally, I'm not adding any more risk to this trade, but if you want to get involved on the break of the previous 30-minute low, since we've pushed up now, no bottom wick, we've got that top wick, we should begin to drive down. Entry on the break of the previous 30-minute low, or below the previous hourly low, maybe even safer, so 1864.2. You're looking at about a 30 pips stop loss, 28 pips. Not too sure we'll move stops to break even. We are currently running at about 10 pips, so we'll be moving stops to break even at 1863.9. GJ, wow. Good morning to everyone joining here. Thank you for joining the stream on a Friday. It is a London bank holiday, but we've got some volume here taking advantage of this. Currently sitting in a little bit of profit here. So we may drive up somewhere into this area here to create that top wick. Looks like we've already got a little bit of a top wick here, so at this point if we do break these lows, you should be set to drive on down. You do have this level here to be cautious of at 1863.9, hence we've got stops at break even at that level. So if you are looking to get involved on the break of the hourly low, I would just be careful. So we've tapped that previous support level. Looks good. Could even get involved on the flip here. Okay, so get ready to move stops to break even, because if we break this low, you should see price just pop down to 1863.9, 1864. Thanks to everyone joining this morning. Before you leave, please leave a thumbs up on the stream. Pushing up here. So, yeah, I mean, plan stays the same. Close half on the break of the previous 30-minute high. Looking here on a 30-minute, this is basically a resistance. So you could just tap into that level and then drive down. Your 15-minute candle looks like it's about to close bullish. You've got 1 minute left here. If it does, and if your next candle breaks the high of this 15-minute candle, you'll close out 50% for negative 10 pips. Alright, your 15-minute has closed. We are respecting this area. Right, your 15 minute has broken the previous 15-minute high. We don't have a bottom wick on this 15 minute, so high chance of driving down, but we need to manage risk here. I'll wait for the 5 minute to close here, but looking to close out half shortly just to limit our loss. On a 30 minute, this trade is still 100% valid as long as we're respecting these highs here. So like I say, your 30 minute is still very much valid. We are respecting the highs there. We tapped into this 30 minute resistance area. Right now it looks like we are forming a resistance here. So if we ended up re-breaking the high of this current candle, because right now I'm pretty satisfied with this wick on the 30 minutes, we should begin to drive down. There are only 7 minutes left of the 30 minute candle here, but like I say, if we break this high, there's a pretty high probability that we continue moving up. So looking to close half at 1866.550 if we do move back up to those levels. Keep in mind your 15-minute now has also created a bottom wick. So since it has a bottom wick, it would be more likely once it breaks this high to drive up. Your 5-minute was really nice and bearish, and we are starting to push down here. Would be really nice if we close bearish on this 30-minute. So even if your 30-minute, sorry, I was muted. Even if your 30-minute close is bullish, as long as we're closing below, 1865,500, that's a area of resistance support. So if we close respecting that level, we should be okay to drive down here. We've got 3 minutes to go. Not looking too bad. We are coming up to Asian close, so you may see volume pick up here in the next 30 minutes. Okay, well there is your 30-minute candle closure. Your 15-minute is respecting this level here, but we'll close out half if we break that previous high there. 30-minute was a pretty strong bullish candle. Like I say, you are coming into Asian close. We should see some volume now, so we just need to be careful with this 30-minute bullish close. Like I say, we'll close half at 1866.550. Okay, there we go. I'm sorry. I saw that wick rejection to that level and I didn't close. If we break that level, I will close half. Taps into that level perfectly. Pretty weak candle closure there on a 5 minute. Let's see if we push down from these levels. If we break this current candle high, definitely going to close out something here. Thank you to everyone joining this morning. Please leave a thumbs up on the stream. Leave a thumbs up if you want to have a good weekend. If you don't, you're gonna have a bad weekend. If you don't leave a like on the stream, you're gonna have 7 years of bad luck. You know those things. Auntie send around. If you don't share this Facebook post, you're gonna have 7 years of bad luck. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Speaking from experience. Good morning, Mr. Butter. Away, 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 away. Let's hope for a little push here in the last 20 minutes of this hour. You know, this might sound really dumb. Like I say, I haven't really been in this routine of trading London session for all that long. I used to trade at work, so I just had to make do with the time that I had, and I'll trade at tea and lunch. So I've actually only come to the realization that Asian closes at 11, like this past week. And I've been seeing quite nice moves just before 11. Right now we are quite bearish. If this 15-minute candle closes bearish, you know, respecting this resistance here as it is right now, we should see that Asian close volume push us to 1864. Yeah, I also rate if we break 1864, we should see price move to 1861, looking left here. Ignoring this resistance, just focusing on the 4-hour level that we have here at 1861. Got 2 TPs. Don't know how far this is going to run, cause obviously NFP later. But I was looking at this 4-hour from yesterday, this like impulse move up. It's got no bottom wick, so I have a pretty strong feeling that we'll get that bottom wick sometime today. And then if it pushes down there, you know, we should highly likely tap into the support. So yeah, I got my second TP at 1855 100. Yeah, same. Uh, I've got a wedding tomorrow. I have to take Kaylin to the shop. I also might have to get a shirt or something. So I don't think I'll be free for NFP 2:30. Yeah, I should be home around then actually. I'll let you know. These continuous wicks to the upside on the 15-minute candles, you know, they drive up, reject, drive up, reject, drive up, reject. Leads me to believe that now, in the next 15 minutes, we should get a push down here. And as you can see, these candles are just getting weaker and weaker. just about tapping into that level. Got my finger on the trigger here to close half. If we do respect that high and break the low of the previous 15 minutes, that should signify that the momentum is shifting bearish again. If we can break some of these lows now in the last 10 minutes, we should have some volume to the downside. We are in the last 10 minutes here, and we have respected the previous hourly high as well. Something to keep in mind. So that's good. Your 15 minutes is flipping bearish, so is your 30. And like I say, if we break this 15-minute low, should be good. Should be very good. Only thing I don't like about this timing is your 4-hour candle closing. But if we could just get it pushed down to 1864, maybe we close out the entire position, or close out half, then that 4-hour candle can do what it wants. On my broker, we haven't broken the low of the previous 15 here on TradingView we have. So we need a little bit more of a convincing break. Yeah, once we break 1864, should basically mirror this entire candle here, and you'll get that bottom wick on that 4-hour from yesterday. Five minutes, chaps. GJ looks like he might close above resistance here, but you want to be patient for that 4-hour candle. You may get quite a steep wick down here. Here we go, here's the Asian session close volume, stepping in to save the day. I may even be a little bit more aggressive with putting stops to break even. May move stops to break even as we fill these wicks here to the bottom. we should get a nice push in the next 5 minutes or so. Obviously you do have your 4-hour candle opening. You should see a top wick formed on that 4-hour if we were to drive further down. So probably going to be in and out here. Well, a bit too late to say in and out, but if we get some volume and a little push here, we'll be securing and moving stops to break even. One minute to go. So yeah, I guess your stop loss at this point, you could move it slightly lower. The last minute of Asian session has been pulling through the last few days. I think the entire week, in fact. Could expect to see a top wick on this current candle now, your new hourly candle. So your hourly closed bullish, but it's a very weak bullish candle. If you do break the low, you should get a nice move down. So we're going to give this a couple minutes here. You could consider that as a support formed, so that is something to just be very careful of. But looking at your 30-minute, we did close bearish, although on support. Your 15-minute was a very strong closure. Looking left, we do still have this level here of support, which we did close below. Your hourly close respecting that level. We've just about tapped into that zone. If we flip bearish now, break these lows, we should be safe, and we'll move stops to break even. Come on. Looking to reduce risk if we do come back to our entry here, or should I say a break of this current candle high. So we can close half at 1865. Never mind. Okay, so securing half. It's been a long day. At about 12 pips or so. Okay, done. And stops at break even. So secured about 13 pips here, 12, 13 pips. Instead of putting stops at break even, you could always just put them above this candle high. It's only a couple pips. We have secured something, so you'll suffer a tiny loss if your half comes back here, but it will be worth the reward. Like I say, if we break that high, then of course this would pretty much confirm that this is a support, and you could drive further up, so you want to be out. But I mean, a 3 pip loss, so you'll have a total of then about 10 pips. 10 pips profit on this trade. 3 pip loss for like 40 pip gain, possibly even 80 pips, 90 pips. Awe, Nico, no problem. Check you later. Enjoy gym. Shot for the W's. Anyone else watching should definitely pop a W there in the chat. If anyone's just watching, they probably just think I got the craziest sniper entry. I took this entry quite some time ago. Just move stops now, basically to break even. But as you can see, we've wicked up here on this current candle, just above our entry. So I've decided to put the stop above this wick, called it break even. Hey. Thank you, Miss Vessels. Getting there. I gotta teach her the ways, man. So while we let this run, let's just go over the record for the week. Summarized, not a very good week. Wasn't a very good week for London session from the get-go. Bank holidays yesterday and today. US bank holiday on Monday. Obviously high impact news as well. Generally you'll see consolidation leading up to high impact news, so definitely a tricky week. Executed this at 9:03. Was definitely a good week in terms of learning, and I don't think those lessons would have costed us much. We'll see our total now, probably sitting at about break even. Our initial stop was 32 pips today. We have secured 13 pips. Sorry about that. Last month we did just about 400 pips here on the stream. This month was off to a slightly rocky start so far. 1 loss, 2 wins. Pretty big loss, unfortunately. Total for the week, a whole 5 pips. So yeah, you know, we didn't manage this loss. You could be sitting at about break even. If we break 164, 1864, we should move quite nicely here. Here we go. Broken that 5-minute low. 15 minutes broken its own low. Let's see if our 15-minute can close below this level here. Thank you, Ian. Thank you for being back on the stream. So our Asian session close here definitely saved us. We sat in drawdown for some time. The trade was valid. The hourly was respecting previous hourly high. Ooh. How long does it take to learn to trade Forex? So that depends on a lot of factors. Some people take a really long time. I mean, some people take, maybe 10 years. Some people give up. Could take you a year. If you have the right guidance and you are doing the right things. So if you focus on keeping it simple, focus on what works, keeping losses small, not over trading. That's a very big one, not over trading. So just a couple trades a day, 1 or 2 trades a day. If you do that for a year, I guarantee you should see some sort of consistency within a year. If you do have the right mentor and you're doing the right things, and you are just a quick learner, you could probably fast track things and probably get consistent in 6 months. But it's going to be very, very difficult for you if you are not in the right place. I have a course coming out soon. In fact, I have a couple courses coming out next month. So I will have a beginner's course, which is basically a trading toolbox, which will give you all the tools you need for your trading journey, as well as a roadmap to give you some direction on your journey. Isn't that wonderful? So really, like I say, you are in the right place. If you have absolutely zero knowledge about Forex trading, that beginner's course is going to be absolute gold to you. And on top of that, I will have a technical and price action reading course, as well as a more advanced course, which will be packed with knowledge and pretty much everything you need to become a profitable trader. I also quite like the well, some days I don't, but I quite enjoy the psychological side of it, understanding yourself a little bit better, because in terms of trading, your style really needs to fit you. So I'll also have a little course on trading psychology and how to develop a winning attitude in trading, which I think if you are struggling in your trading and you've been with it for a while, and some days you feel you are consistent, other days you kind of fall off the horse, that course will be extremely, extremely beneficial to you to get yourself into the right mindset. And that is actually something I'm really excited about, because I feel that course will really, really help people who have been trading for some time, who have been at it, putting in the work, learning, but are just falling short. Because at that point, it most probably comes down to psychology, unless, let's say, you've had the wrong guidance and your strategy is overcomplicated. Then like I say, you will want to keep it simple, and that price action trading course will be exactly what you need. You can follow the Instagram page so long at Monster Money Trading. Monster Money Trading. So Haven't really got that going yet, but it's up. You can give it a follow. Should be releasing some content on there soon. And like I say, courses should be out next month. Courses will be out next month. Thank you, Ian. I really appreciate that. I'm excited to get more people on here as well. Like I say, you know, it's tricky when you come into trading and you know that there's a lot of money to be made. And if you follow the wrong people, you're just gonna have a really tough time. And you know, if you are trading your money as well and you are consistently losing, it can almost get depressing, or definitely get depressing. So I'm excited to be another light in the Forex community, if I could say that. There are a few great people out there, but the majority of people pushing courses and that are more concerned about making money for themselves rather than helping someone to learn the actual skill. And that's why I'm here. This live stream is extremely valuable for myself and for you. It's free. I'm here Monday to Friday. You don't even have to buy a course. Just pop up on the YouTube and, you know, pretty much set. But if you really want to dive into specifics and master it, and master the skill so you can do it yourself, you know, make that investment. Keep an eye out for those courses. Instagram page at Monster Money Trading. So we've broken the low here on the previous 15 minutes. We did have this support level, which we closed below. You could see some nice movement down, although we are sitting at this support looking left. Higher time frame, that's not too much of a concern. Currently at about 15 pips here. We have closed out half. So we are moving into a rejection area as well. Looking left here, these wicks. And we are coming into a lower volume time. NFP is coming up in about 3 hours. So, not too sure how much movement is left here. We did get that little push from Asian close. That was nice, secured some profit. So what I'm going to do right now, since it's just been a pretty rough week, I'm going to close another 25%. And now if it pushes down, then great. We still have a small position running here. If it hits break even, that's fine too. We've secured about 15 pips. So NFP should pretty much finalize how this weekly candle will look. If we close bearish on this weekly candle, you could possibly see some nice moves next week. I'm just wondering, when are they raising interest rates? Although when they do raise interest rates, that should also have a negative effect on gold. So if we are closing, we go, 2 weeks time. So 2 weeks time, that should be a banger. We will see interest rates raised. They've spoken about it a lot, looking to raise interest rates by 50 base points. So another big jump in interest rates. We should see a further sell-off on gold, possibly moving back down into support here. A lot of factors at play and a lot of time until then, so we'll have to just see how that goes. I'd say if interest rates were next week and NFP pushed us down to 1850, let's say, close bearish on this weekly candle, raising interest rates next week would certainly push us down to some of these support levels. But for now, that's just a pipe dream. Okay, so for now we'll just say that we close full at 13. We do have a small runner running, so we'll update that if need be. Otherwise, stops are at pretty much break even, above this current candle high. Although your new 15 minutes, the high is down here, so stops at break even, break even. And we are actually moving down quite nicely right now. Sitting at almost 20 pips. Damn. We are now below the support. We're about to close on a 30-minute here in 2 minutes. If we can close below that level, you should see a really nice move down to 1861. But looks like we are showing signs of rejection here. I'm going to stay on here for about another 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes. See how this 30-minute candle closes, see what the next 30-minute does. But we are just about coming into pre-New York, so this is not a pre-New York stream. This is a London Open, and I guess now a Asian close stream. So Thanks, Vessel. Appreciate it. Thank you for joining the stream again, guys. I see you have all been here numerous times. I really appreciate the support. I hope you're learning something. And yeah, give yourself a pat on the back for investing in yourself, more importantly. Okay, so your 30-minute candle close. Your 30-minute candle close below support here. Once we break the low of this 30 minutes, we do have nice clean range down here. But I can't sit here all day, guys. I gave you free money already. It's Friday. So I'm gonna head off. Thank you so much for joining the stream once again. I'll see you guys soon. See you guys Monday. Have a great weekend. Thank you everyone for joining. Don't forget to follow at Monster Money Trading on Instagram. Courses will be out in July.